Hi, my name is Umar. I'm making this video to show that the US military has had inertia reduction technology operational for at least 30 years at this point, so at least since 1989. The reason I think this is significant is because it is right now in public agreed upon physics. There's no well founded theory about how to do such a thing. Maybe the military has this theory, or maybe they serendipitously ran an experiment and found out the effect without truly understanding it and made it operational. Um, it'll be quite scandalous once it is known because having this technology operational since '89, coincidentally when the greenhouse effect was publicized, and how much energy and corresponding greenhouse gases goes into moving stuff, transportation and such, and how much less energy would have been required to do so if this technology was uh, made public or potentially. Um, Maybe there's something we don't know about the technology that wouldn't lend itself to civilian transportation needs, but we don't know that yet. But theoretically, if it was everything was much lighter, then less energy would be needed to move it, and less greenhouse gases would be expended in for the energy to move things, and we millions, potentially, ultimately billions of lives could have been positively affected. Um, but anyways, I'm going to read some notes I made. So between 2015 and 2017, applications for several interesting patents were submitted to the United States Patent and Trademark Office by an aerospace engineer named Salvatore Cesare Pais. So that's Salvatore is the first name. Last name is Pais. Middle name Cezar. Mr. Pais worked for the National Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division, or NORCAD, a division of the United States military. So I'll show you their website. It's not like a secret organization or anything. Um, so, sorry. Okay, so actually I already have it up. So there you go. Um, to show that it's an actual organization. Obviously, I could have made up the website, but I didn't. Um, One online publication, The War Zone, has been reporting on these patents. So if you have just a cursory look at this website, you can tell it's not pandering to things of a paranormal nature. It's all kinds of things like coming up very clearly on this, but U.S. troops reportedly caught up in Turkish artillery attack in Syria. It's not what the U.S. is deploying to Saudi Arabia, it's the structure of the deployment. So, fairly prosaic, non paranormal, non freaky articles, right? Okay. So, um, so this some journalists at this website um, started following. They found the story about those patents compelling enough to report on, despite the fantastic nature of those patents. So the arguably the strangest of these patents that this the scientist at this facility wrote was called a graft using an inertia reduction device. Um, and we have the patent is available here. You can see it. Craft using an inertial mass reduction device. There's all the. This is from Google Patents, as you can see. If you just Google up, just type in craft using an inertial mass reduction device, you can see it for yourself. Um, so, uh, this patent was initially rejected by the patent examiner Philip Bonzell, Bonzell, and Among the reasons for the rejection was that, quote, there is no such thing as a repulsive EM energy field, and that the energy levels needed to make the craft operable was, quote, not feasible with current technology. After it was initially rejected, a gentleman named Mark O. Glut, GLUT, who is NORCAD's, or at least at that time was NORCAD's patent attorney, appealed the rejection. Amongst the appeal documents was a letter written by Chief Tactical Officer of NORCAD, Dr. James Sheehy. The patent was eventually approved, but no reason was given about why it was improved. So conceivably, they were convinced by the appeal process of the patent attorney and the letter by the chief tactical officer. An independent physicist was asked to examine the research and said that it bears no more resemblance to quantum physics, as I understand it, I meaning the physicist, than does the Force from Star Wars. Similar sentiments were expressed by other independent physicists. All these details can be found if you go to the article. I already have it up here. This is an article from the Warzone about this interesting patents. So, with all of that in mind, let's take a little detour in time and space back to 1990 Belgium. For about a year, there were sightings of a weird triangular-shaped craft over that country. On March 31st, the Belgian military scrambled F-16s to try and intercept the craft. They were able to record the craft's radar traces. Here's what a Belgian Air Force colonel had to say about that. Okay, so let me bring it up over here. Let me make sure the time is correct. Okay, I need to go back. Sorry.
A press conference was called.
What these pilots detected was well outside the normal flying envelope of an airplane. Sometimes they had what we call lock-ons, which gave a parameters varying from speeds between 150 knots till 990 knots. An acceleration which occurred in a few seconds.
The Americans denied it was a secret spy plane, so could it have been the first official contact with an alien craft?
These speeds would be impossible to tolerate for a human being. That's a first point. A second point is the visual observations always describe a system, a machine, which hangs and hovers above the surface at quite a low altitude without making any noise. Now, with the current technology, that will be impossible.
Okay. So, in the opinion of this Air Force colonel of Belgium, he couldn't understand what they saw was something that human technology could produce. Now, that was the opinion of the Belgian military, so that doesn't make it real or doesn't necessarily make it alien, but just to emphasize how fantastic this craft operation, its performance envelope, its flight characteristics were, that somebody from a major country's air force would come and say that publicly about what they saw and give their radar traces. So, and ever since then, similar triangular craft have been claimed to be observed all around the world. So, if you type in, now I haven't shown why, but if you search for TR3B, you'll see lots of weird triangular shaped crafts recorded by different people all around the world. So, with videos, with the abundance of software available for people to make their own special effects, you have to take that with, if it was just the videos, it would just be curiosity, but it's in the context of the other information that I've given so far and will give that this has significance. One of my favorite, so you can have the bunch of pictures of this craft which I'll show at least one of the possible designations for was a TR3B. You just Google that up and you'll see lots of examples of people claiming to see this triangular shaped craft over the years. But one of my favorite is the following video. So here, check this out. Slow motion. This was allegedly seen over Amsterdam. Anyways, so that happened, or alleged to have happened. Okay, so now let's go and continue. Then sometime in the late 1990s, a man named Edgar Fouché came out to claim that the craft observed over Belgium was an operational U.S. military craft, model designation TR3B, based on. Now he claimed that the craft was based on reverse engineered from. The craft was reverse engineered from alien crafts. Now that was his claim. I personally don't have a knee jerk reaction that many people do when they hear the word alien and think it must be ridiculous. But I think it's possible we're the only life in the universe, but I also think it's possible aliens are visitors. But none of this is based on that, right? It could be completely humanly developed technology. But he claimed maybe it was, maybe it was misinformation fed to him so that if the information came out, then people would dismiss it because it has the word alien in it. But anyways, so we can, regardless of that for the moment, what is relevant in the video that shows his revelations is what he claimed was a critical component of the craft, an inertia reduction devices. So and what follows is a detailed comparison showing stunning similarities between Edgar Fouché's claims from 20 years ago and the US military patent from 20 years later, the one that discussed earlier in this video. The most obvious similarity is the shape. So here I'm going to go to, let's see over here. Yeah. So this is from Edgar Fouché's slides he made for his presentation. So without going into detail, basic triangular shaped craft, like the triangular shaped craft people have been reporting for decades, like the triangular shaped craft seen over Belgium that the Belgian Air Force talked about, and you have this triangular shaped craft, right? Also in the patent, if you see over here, there's two possible configurations of this craft. And one of them, there's one that's two triangles next to each other, and there's one that's a basic triangle. So that's a configuration. So you have, just keep that in mind, you have a triangular shaped craft, right? No biggie so far. But okay. So the other thing is the essence of the patent, inertia mass reduction device, right? So the patent, as far as the patent concerned, that's very easy. That's just the name of the patent, inertia reduction device, right? Let's go to the video for his presentation. Okay, if I look at my notes, it is 101:45. So let's find that. Yeah, okay.
Energy. The MFD generates a magnetic vortex field which disrupts and neutralizes the effects of gravity on mass within proximity by 89%.
Okay, so he claims that this device, he calls it a magnetic field disruptor, I believe, or MFD. Regardless, that it disrupts the effects of gravity on mass. Inertia is essentially mass, right? If you so if you reduce the mass, gravity is going to affect that less. So that was the claim of this thing. Okay. Now. Okay, so now Fouché claims that part of the system that produces the inertia reducing effect is a mercury plasma. The patent says the preferred embodiment, the resonant cavity, is filled with a noble gas. The gas xenon may be used. However, any noble gas or equivalent can be utilized. Okay, so let me see whether I can find that section uh, of the patent for you. Okay, so let's see. I'll just search for the word, I guess, noble gas. This okay. So there it is. In the preferred embodiment, the resonant cavity is filled with a noble gas. The gas xenon may be used. However, any noble gas or equivalent can be utilized. Okay. So now you might be saying that, well, Edgar Fouché talked about mercury, and this is talked about a noble gas, right? So the or the equivalent, where the patent says or the equivalent, is important because though mercury is not a noble gas, a Google search of mercury and noble gas will tell you that mercury is a dense silvery D block element. It is the only metal that is liquid at standard conditions for temperature and pressure. Mercury has a unique electronic configuration which strongly resists removal of an electron, making mercury behave similarly to our noble gas elements. So here we go. Right there. I just typed in mercury and noble gas in Google, and that's exactly what it said. So now how the noble gas is used to produce the inertia reducing effect is also significant. So let's go to the video 10125 to 10145. Okay. Okay, we might go a little bit earlier. Anyway.
Technology. But you're not going to be able to build one of these from what I tell you, nor am I. So the government will go to any lengths. Believe me, the plasma in this accelerator is mercury-based. It's pressurized at 250,000 atmospheres at a temperature of 150 degrees Kelvin, superconductivity, and accelerated to 60,000 revolutions per minute to create a superconductive plasma with a resulting gravity.
So basically, you have mercury plasma that's spinning. So keep that in mind, spinning mercury gas. Okay. Now, if we go to the patent, there's a concept of the resonant cavity is filled with a noble gas, and so okay, so it'll be in claim 1. Hang on, let me find it. Claim 1 and claim 4. So let's find it up here, I think. Okay, claim 1. A craft using an inertial mass reduction device comprising an inner resonant cavity wall. Okay, blah blah blah. The craft of claim 1. Okay, sorry. The craft of claim 1, when the resonant cavity is filled with a noble gas, and then if you look at step 4 over here, when the resonant cavity is axially rotated in an accelerated mode, which is a fancy way of saying spinning. So basically, both Edgar Fouché's claims from 20 years ago and this pattern now comprise of a triangular shaped craft. Its key component is an inertia reduction device, whose necessary component to make that device works is a concept of a noble gas or equivalent spinning. I don't see how those things just happen by coincidence. If Edgar Fouché was lying, why would this patent be done based on that lie? If he was trying to troll people, why would the CTO of this 11,000 strong military facility go to bat in trying to back it up? It doesn't make sense. I think the most prosaic, reasonable explanation is that the claims were true and the military has had this technology operational for at least 30 years. Okay. Let's see, what else do I have here? I think I went covered this. Let's say assume the alien. So, okay, I wouldn't go over these notes I had. I think I covered most of it, but I think it's very significant, and I felt like information should be shared. So I hope you found this video interesting. I know it wasn't very professional or at all professional. First time I've made one like this. So just wanted to share this. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.